Hello, my loves, and welcome to another creative storytelling. With that said, let's just get on with it. Oh, if you'd like to book your own for your own personal creative storytelling, feel free to do so by going to jennifermorningstar.me. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Jennifer Morningstar and Jennifer Morningstar Tarot. Both links can be found at the website down below. With that said, let's get on with it. What creative story do we have today? I'm hearing Bear in the Big Blue House. What's in the mail today? Oh. Someone's not quite happy with the way something's going. They're not quite getting their way in a situation. 4-4, by the way. It's making them a bit uncomfortable, a bit unease with that Four of Swords like that. Someone feeling put in an uncomfortable situation. They're not quite getting what they want. They're stuck. It's like they're stuck. There's some situation that's not going the way that they want. Ooh, feels like it's in regards to a connection. Two of Cups. This could be someone. Is it time to just call it a loss, to walk away from this thing? This could be in regards to someone in a relationship feeling like they're not getting what they want. Let's see. Two of Swords. It's time to cut the cord and go in a different direction is what that feels like. But they haven't quite pulled, someone hasn't quite pulled the trigger yet. This could be in regards to a breakup, doing the right thing, doing what's right for someone. Someone not quite pulling the trigger. I'm hearing Rihanna Russian roulette. Now this could even be in regards to like a work situation. Someone could be not falling up to par with the company's standard, the boss's expectation, or this could just be. Now we have the Empress under the deck and the Emperor right here. Someone hasn't quite pulled the trigger on, in regards to something. Something isn't, it's both. They would have to walk away from one thing, something old, stop giving to one thing in order to go towards this new thing, something that would be much more abundant. Now, this could be in regards to a connection, or this could be in regards to a career, but this is, someone would have to pull the trigger in a sense where they would have to stop giving to one thing in order to pursue this new thing, which would be much more abundant. 10 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, 4 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles. Heavily emphasized. If this isn't, someone has to walk away from one thing to go to another. This could be someone needs to walk away from one job in order to go towards another one that would be much, much better. Or someone would have to walk away from one connection in order to go towards something else. It's given very strongly. All right, so 10 of Swords. Ten of Swords sideways. It's almost like someone's not sure if they have it in them. Tell me more about that Ten of Swords sideways. It's almost like they're not sure if it's the right thing, if it's the right decision. They don't want to do anything in haste that they're going to regret. Because they would have to terminate one contract before, and especially if there's been a lot of time into, if this is like in regards to a company, they've already put a lot of time into the one company. If not, it's a lot of time into this relationship. All right, so what shall they do? They're looking before they leap. They're trying to figure out what it is that they really want. The Fool is sideways, the Magician upright to the Ten of Cups. This could even be perhaps they've tried before to give something a chance, or give it more time, see if things get better, become what they want. Whether this is in regards to a job or a relationship, but ultimately it's just seeming like we know what happens. All right, so what will they do? What will they choose? Queen of Swords, well, that's making an executive decision, the decision that is in fact correct for them. It's just a matter of having the courage that this is someone giving the walking papers, saying that they're ready to quit, they're ready to walk away. This is them mustering up the courage to do so. If this is in regards to a breakup, it's a need to muster up the words to say, waiting for the right time, trying to figure out the right way to go about something. Okay. And what will be the result of this? Well, the number one thing is they're finally able to lay this burden behind them once and for all, lay this thing. Because it feels like the number one thing that's been holding them back is, deciding a sense of direction. I feel like they've been so torn between something old, something new, and yet they want something that's more fulfilling. All right, so they might end up ripping the Band-Aid off. That's what that feels like. So it feels like they're going to inevitably muster up the courage, working up the nerve to literally finally call it quits in regards to this. They're making the executive decision, pulling the trigger once and for all, ripping the Band-Aid off. It's like, as much as it pains them, it's like, you know what, I got to do this. I got to hand in my walking papers. It's time for me to, go elsewhere. Or if this is in regards to a relationship, it's time to call it quits. This just isn't it. Too many problems, whatever it is. Oh, shit. This could even be if someone's involved with someone from their job. It could even be that's why it's weighing so strongly on them, because it's almost like a full-fledged severance. That could be why I'm getting two stories. Someone could literally be involved in a situation with someone who they also work with. And at the same token, in order to truly move on, they would. It's like if they really want to be free and move on from the thing, they would have to pull the trigger wholeheartedly to fully be free of this person. That could even mean a form of relocation in regards to work, because there could be some form of conflict at the workplace. This is like someone trying to stir the pot, trying to start shit, or, try to get a reaction or get a rise out of someone, right? It's like someone purposely trying to dig the nail, especially if, like, say they work together and then they have to see each other every day on top of, whatever already ensued, whatever bullshit ensued between them. I'm hearing Taylor Swift, Bad Blood. So then it's like, you know what? I gotta rip off. I gotta rip off the Band-Aid wholeheartedly. Where it's like, the only way out of the situation is to truly be fully out of the situation, which would mean, okay, we have to rip off the Band-Aid. We have to make an executive decision, pull the trigger where, maybe we're calling it quits at this place. We're putting paper in elsewhere. We're putting our application in elsewhere to work somewhere else, but I can't do this here anymore. That's what that's given. All right, so, oof, my Lord. Yeah, see, look. It's something that's weighed on them heavily. But I tell you what, freeing themselves from whatever this whole hot mess is, it's one of the best things, because it's like they finally feel free. Perhaps, because now what I'm seeing is, especially with that devil sideways to the Ace of Wands sideways. This could be, it makes it more difficult to fully detach from someone, especially if like you have to see them every day, like say if you work with them. And so someone could try to purposely try to stir things up or try to pull someone in or, try to lure them back in and using sex as a form of means to try to pull them back in. Hence, it's like, we're finally gonna pull the trigger and just go completely detach ourselves from this whole situation, which would also include, we're gonna have to get a new job or move work somewhere else. That's what that feels like. We're putting in our papers. Um, that's what that feels like. So this is a severance all across the board, literally a full severance. Now I'm drawn to something new too. Now someone, much as they're severing, they could have their eye already on something else. Again, they could already have an idea on where they want to go. If they're walking away from a career, there could be a place that they've been, kind of back and forth on discussing in regards to, seeing if there's any openings or something like that, right? At the same token, there could also be with that Five of Swords to the Empress. They could have low key already had their eye on someone else as well. But the only thing holding them back is, completely being single and moved on from whatever this is. Um, this is like a telenovela. I'm literally hearing the voiceover from Who Remembers Jane the Virgin. I love that show, love it. But the voiceover during the whole thing, that's what I'm hearing. That dude's voiceover who would like narrate the show. Um, Someone could be Hispanic for me to get drawn to that. But that's what that's given. It feels like a bit of a telenovela. And think about it in Jane the Virgin. Fuck, what was his name? The one that Justin Baldoni played. I can't remember right now. But he literally ran the hotel, and he had an ex, and then they ended up working together. They had kids together, and then he was with Jane, and so they were all still intertwined, right? But this is like someone who's trying to free themselves and not be intertwined. Um, but it feels like it ties into like kind of everything. So they could literally have a relationship or, something where there's someone who they fuck with or, they were with. But at the same token, they're also coworkers. They want to get out of the situation. At the same token, they also have their eye on another place in regards to employment. Could also possibly be, another person as well. But again, they have to literally just, rip the band-aid off and pull the trigger with that Emperor to the Two of Swords, making an executive decision to pull the trigger on this thing. This could be something that's weighed on them for a moment that they've contemplated on, but it feels like, they end up doing it. They give it a little bit of time. They give it much thought, consideration. This is someone who, especially with the Emperor energy, this is someone who works out all the details before actually, um, making that executive decision, right? But ultimately, it ends up being the best decision for them in the long haul. So I might call this the severance package. Yeah, severance package. All right. Well, with that said, my loves, that is your story.